Hey, board gamers, BJ from Board Game Gumbo here, back in the Gumbo Pot. This time taking a look at my top 10 favorite games of 2024. There's a great list of games here, a few surprises that didn't quite make it, and it might be a surprise which one made number one. Let's get right to that table and see what's on this list. All right, in 2024 and into this year, I've played about 144 different games from that year. I used the BGG list and I just filter for dates. That's pretty much how I decide what games fit in 2024. So a couple of games are a little awkward because they came out of that, so that was the only time you could get them and didn't get to play them until this year. That's okay. Like I said, there was some games that just didn't quite make it. I'll probably do another video after this of just my top 6 or top 10 family weight style games because this was a really strong year for small box, family weight, filler game, tapas games, gateway games, whatever you want to call it. It's a really strong year this year. So I may do a second video on that. But let's get right to that list and see what's on it. And number 10 on this list is a game from a series that I love, and that is Unmatched, Slings and Arrows. It's the Unmatched series, this time built with the Shakespeare era. So you've got Hamlet, Titania, and Wayward Sisters, and of course Shakespeare himself. It's a great implementation. In fact, it took the place of Cobble and Fog as probably my favorite set of all of the Unmatched sets. This one is fantastic. If you liked Unmatched, you should really check out Unmatched Slings and Arrows. It's a standalone one. You can play it. You got 4 characters, and that's why I included it. My number 10 game of the year. All right, coming in at number 9 is a game by Ryan Lockett, and it's called Creature Caravan. This was a surprise to me. I did not back this one on Kickstarter. I have backed many games from Ryan Lockett on Kickstarter, games like Near and Far, which are in my top 20, top 30 games of all time. This one, I don't know, when I looked at it at first, kind of passed it by, and then I got a copy, if I remember right, from Envoy to do a demo, and as I'm learning it, like, wow, this game is really good, and I couldn't stop playing it for weeks. Played it at Sobo a couple of times, and I've played it a ton since then. It is a light-ish game, and it doesn't take very long, but the card play is just so fascinating to me. I'm always loving trying to figure out the best combos with the cards that come out. Also, do I want to push to get across the landscape? I've had games where I didn't push very far and still won. I've had games where I got all the way to the end and won or lost. So, there's so many different strategies, and I hear there's some expansions for it. I need to check those out because Creature Caravan, one of my top 10 games, the top 10 favorite games of the year. Next up is another light game, and this is one that wasn't a surprise to me. I actually got this one on a trip to France because I wanted it so bad, and you couldn't get it in America at all at the time, and that's Captain Flip. It's Paolo Mori and Romo Consadori. And this game is dirt simple. You can teach almost anyone to play. And in fact, my grandbugs love this game. You're basically pull out tiles, and you got to decide, you want the front side, you want to push your luck, and take the other side. There's no way for me to memorize all the tiles, so I never know what's on the other side. And then you're trying to score points by putting them on these old your player sheets. I actually have an expansion in there, the Kraken one. They can come out with all the expansions that they want because I'm going to buy them. I absolutely adore Captain Flip. It's one of my favorite games, of the last 2 or 3 years. This and a couple other games this year really jumped on my list of just in that rotation, always wanting to play. So Captain Flip, it's fantastic. If you're looking for a great family game, Captain Flip, I highly recommend it. Speaking of interesting games, the next game on the list is Fromage. I actually don't own a copy of this, but there's a bunch of copies in the Gumbo, so I have access to it anytime I want to play. I absolutely adore Fromage. I was not excited about it when it first came out. Nothing interested me. Simultaneous play and the wheel and all that stuff. Then the first time I played it, I was totally hooked. And I've played it a bunch since then, both in person and on BGA. It's fantastic, and I can't wait. A couple of the guys have gotten the standalone sequel to it. Can't wait for that to come in, and we can play it. Fromage, it's a game that I just see myself playing every few months because it's just so easy to break out of any game night. It's fantastic. Check out Fromage. All right, number 6 is a game from the Fleeples, and with their buddy Adam Hill. That is Adam Hill, Ben Pitchback, Matt Riddle, and it's called River Valley Glassworks. It's produced by All Play. And I have played this game so much. I played it on VGA before it ever came out, and then I started playing it when we got our copy because I backed this one on Kickstarter. I don't have the fancy edition. I just got the regular edition, and I'll be honest with you, I think that's all you need because I played this a bunch. I do like the little expansion cards, River, Glass, and other sundries. I like throwing in a couple of those cards just to change things up. But oh boy, River Valley Glassworks is so easy to teach. I've taught everybody from just regular non-gamers to, even though the biggest gamers like to play this game. There's so many different ways to try to win, and you almost have to play the table a little bit to see what other people are doing. I love it. It's fantastic. It is kind of kills Azul for me, although I still like one of the Azuls. I really enjoy that one. But the rest of them, I'd rather play River Valley Glassworks instead. It's fantastic. I completely recommend it. And I hear there's a sequel coming out. Can't wait to see that. All right, the next two games on our list, talking about the top 5. Number 5 and number 4, I don't have with me right here, even though I own them, even though I've bought multiple copies, even though I've given multiple copies of these games. It's because they're either always being borrowed or they're in my truck or in one of my bags because we're always playing them. The first one, number 5, is Duck and Cover. Now, Patrick Newman's not going to be surprised by that. Go ahead, Patrick, give me that quack right now. Duck and Cover is absolutely one of the best family weight games I played in the last 5 years. I mean, it's just so much fun. I went specifically to the Captain Games booth at BGG Con because I had heard about it and it looked kind of interesting. And when I watched the demo, I said, give me a copy right there. And then I bought another copy. And I've bought multiple copies since then. I've given them out to people. I've actually rebought the expansion for it. There's some extra decks. I've gotten 2 of those so far already. The game is dirt simple. All you're doing is flipping over numbers. And you've got a grid of numbers, 12, a 4x3 grid. And you're trying to get down to the lowest points. So that's a game you've seen in it's sort of a card shedding mechanic, right? Sort of. But it's that spatial grid that's so much fun, and it's also the tension of, do I get rid of my big cards, but they're going to come up more often? It's so many different ways, but yes, it's a lot of luck. Yes, there's not a ton of strategy, but it's a light game for families, and it's perfect for kids. Duck and Cover, fantastic. I highly recommend it. The next one is also one that a lot of people talk about. It got nominated for the Spiel des Jahres, and that's Flip 7. That's a game. I honestly don't know how many times I've played it because we played it so much. I'd have to check the BGG stats because it's always being played. I know Christmas is coming up. We're going to play it a ton with my family because that's the weight of games that we like to play when we go on the road and we go to all the family houses. So Flip 7, where my copy is right now, someone's borrowing it. Somebody in my family's borrowing it. I got to track it down because I can't wait to play it again for Christmas. Or I'll just get another one because that's the game that I can always see wanting to play. And I hear there's other sets that are coming out. They're going to be theme sets that the OP is going to come out with, of course. So I can see Flip 7 becoming like an Uno type of a game where it's just going to be ubiquitous. We're going to see it at all the hobby stores, but we're also going to see it at the CVSs and the Targets and the Walmarts and everywhere. So Flip 7, fantastic game. Yes, it's not very deep. Yes, there's a lot of luck in it, but you know what? There's also some strategy. The more you play it, the more you're going to figure out. And if you don't know what that strategy is, you just haven't played it enough. So that's Flip 7 from the op. Fantastic little game. All right, now we're getting to the nitty gritty. The top 3 games, my top 3 favorite games of 2024. This was a tough race here because 2 of the games kept flipping and flopping all year. And let's start right away. Number 3 is Rock Hard 1977. That was a game, the first time I played it, I'm like, okay, this game's going to be my game of the year. And it stayed at the top for months. I really thought it might make it. Jackie Fox's first game ever, Rock Hard 1977. She was a member of the Runaways, and she brings all that personality in this game. It's one of the most thematic Euros I've ever played. It doesn't feel like you're just pushing cubes or colors around. You actually feel like you're, working at this terrible job. You really want to be a rock star, staying up all night, trying to find gigs, trying to get into the studio, trying to get managers, trying to get new bandmates, all the elements of being in a band. It's fantastic. Work your job, rehearse on time, stay up all night, lose your mind. That's Rock Hard 1977. Oh, it's so close to being my game of the year. I won't turn it down. So it's fantastic. It could be my game of the year if I was on a particular game night and somebody was going to play it, I'd jump in. So is it a little unrefined in some places? Yeah, there's a couple of elements that are a little rough on the edges, but you know what? Isn't that rock music? I mean, sometimes, Big Star, not everything Big Star put out was actually pitch perfect, So, but that's okay. We still love that kind of music. So, Rock Hard, 1977, absolutely adore it. And if there's any other content for it, I'll be on the lookout for it. Getting to the top 2. Oh man, one of these was so close. Oh, every time I played SETI, Search for Extraterrestrial Intelligence, it felt like my game of the year. In fact, if I played this one instead of the other one tonight after this video, it'd probably shoot back up to number 1, because it just seems like whichever one I played last, that's the one that'll be number 1. That's okay. Both of these 2 games, in fact, all 3 of my top 3, they should be in your collection, and you should bring them out as often as you can. SETI is fantastic. SETI is a game I'm going to play a million times over a lot of the other Tableau style builders, because I just love the 3D aspect, the spatial aspect of that central board. Putting your stuff out there, moving around, and then trying to get stuff back out on the big board. And then, of course, you've got the surprise of the aliens. The 2 aliens are going to come out. They're going to be different. And, of course, CGE is going to come out with more content for it. So I'm sure there's going to be, we already know that there's another expansion. So I'm sure that's going to get into heavy rotation. As soon as I get a chance to play it, I'm going to want to add those things. But SETI is fantastic. If you like Tableau builders and you want something that isn't just paint by numbers, there's a lot of theme that's just dripping this game. I gotta admit, I don't know who exactly the designer Tomas Volek is, but based on the 3 games that he had just this 2024 alone, and just based on SETI, it's a designer we gotta keep an eye out for. Every game that Tomas comes out with, I'm gonna have to just check out. At least it's gonna be on my radar. And that's SETI, Search for Extraterrestrial Intelligence. Very close. I'll call it 1B. How's that? But let's get to 1A. But enough lather. Let's get right to that. Number 1 game of the year. And that is Shackleton Base. That's right. Shackleton Base, my favorite game of the year. Surprised me because I didn't even get to play this until Southern Board Game Fest. And I was kind of like, oh man, this is not quite exactly sure what I'm doing here. Then by the time we got to the 3rd reel of the game, I was digging it. Here's why. Because not only does it have that little economic, Euro-style strategy that I just love, not only does it have the combos that you can really get into in that 3rd reel of the game, but it's got the corporations. There's, how many? 7 different corporations, and each game, 3 of them are going to come out, and the combination of those 3 just make every game feel different, Farming is going to emphasize getting stuff in a line on your moon base, and then trying to hit those marks. Trying to go back and score those by having people out there. That's going to be different than if you're doing the Galactic Tours one, where you're out there trying to do tours. So you're trying to send people out on those space shuttles to do all the tours. Every one of them is kind of different. And of course, the one where there's a meteor crashing into the moon, that's one where, are people going to work together? Do I care if it's not going to land on my stuff? It's going to land on your stuff? Maybe I don't care at all. So, all these corporations work differently. And so every game that I've played has worked differently. I want to play this game all the time. I have 7 or 8 plays of it already since March. So that's a lot. I didn't even play it in 2024 at all. And it's my game of the year. Yes, one of these other games could shoot back up if I played it last night, but I doubt it. I think Shackleton Base is the number 1 game. My favorite game of the year. The rest of them are all like right under there in that 1B, 1C type of range. But wow, Shackleton Base, fantastic. And also, there's more stuff coming out for it, so I can't wait to play that. And what a year for game. Shackleton Base right there at the top. All right, so that is my top 10 favorite games of 2024. Did any of these make your list? Is there anything I missed? Let me know in the comments below, and I'll try to get it played. I try to revisit the list a year or so out, so I'll go back and see, hey, what those games are. I usually post at the end of the year, just my quick and dirty type of way too early type of list, and most of these games, of course not Shackleton Base, most of these games were on that list, but sometimes things change, so I'm looking forward to hearing from you. And until next time, let's say that thoughts on roulette.